Now in second part of forms of market, we will start up with oligopoly. Now what do you mean by oligopoly market? It is that form of market structure in which there are few firms selling a product so that there is intense competition among them. Like you can say a ratio of 2 and 10. Why? Because there are maximum number, many buyers and only 2 seller, or 2 or 3, not more than that. Like you can see, if we can go for automobiles, or if we go for car or such kind, so there are hardly few sellers, 3 4 in numbers, and there are many buyers. Fine. So this is what this kind of market is known as oligopoly market. Now features of oligopoly market. First is intense competition. As you know, the number of buyers are maximum and the sellers are very less. Okay, I will not say one. Okay, it is not monopoly, it is oligopoly. Oligopoly means there are more than one number of sellers, but then handful number of sellers, only few sellers. Okay, so the number of firm in oligopoly market is so small that any action by one firm is likely to affect the rival firm. Each firm produces a large share of the market, therefore has power to influence the market price. Like for example, the best example you will remember is Tata's Nano. Once it came in the market, very beginning, it has the cost of 1 lakh, around 1,50,000, right? Moreover, other cars, they were quite expensive. So what happened? Everybody's price was affected. Why? Because there are only handful number of manufacturer of automobiles. Fine. So that is why it affected the pricing factor in the market. Okay. Next is interdependence. Now what do you mean by interdependence? The number of firms in oligopoly is so few that each firm is worried about how its rival will react to anything it does. Okay, so whatever actions what a firm is doing, one firm is doing, how it will react or affect the other firm. Okay, any change in price, output and product by one firm will force the rival firm by changing their prices. Okay, output and product, which sometimes leads to price war among competitors. So that is what, sometimes more and more output or product also leads to what? A price war among the competitors. Fine. Now, nature of product. Oligopoly may have homogeneous or differentiated products. Oligopoly without product differentiation is pure oligopoly. Okay. For example, cooking gas of Bharat, Indian, etc. are examples of pure oligopoly. Why? Because there are only few sellers among them. Now, nature of product, that means different types of products. In oligopoly, there can be homogeneous product, there can be differentiated product, not a problem, but the point is seller is only few. See, if you'll say Bharat gas and Indian cooking gas, they all are doing what? They all are manufacturing gas stoves, right? But then they are few in numbers. They are what they are doing? They are producing homogeneous product, but then they are few in numbers. So that is what it is, pure oligopoly. Okay. Next is importance of selling cost. Now what is the importance of selling cost in oligopoly? The firm compete with each other through various sales promotion measures. Now here there is a cutthroat competition. That means they have to justify why they are raising their price, why they have a price rise. Or so what they do, they adapt different measures, different techniques of promotions. Now which are the like price cutting? Fine, you must have seen so and so product is giving you 50% off. Okay, Lenovo is giving you 50% off on their mobile sale, right? Now sometimes they even go for door to door campaign. Okay, so these are the few promotion techniques which has been adopted in case of oligopoly. Okay. Next is barrier to entry. We all have studied that, right? Barrier to entry, that is restrictions in entry. Now, the absence of barrier to entry of a new firm, the oligopoly may not retain its characteristics of few sellers. Okay. In the long run, barriers may be in the form of economies of large-scale production, cost advantage of old firm, price cutting, control over important inputs, patents rights, etc. Fine. So these are few techniques, or you can say which, or few things which is been adopted to go for the barriers of this to restrict the new sellers to enter in the market. Okay. Now next is interdeterminate demand curve. Now, demand curve faced by an oligopolist is interdeterminate. An oligopoly cannot ignore the reaction of rival firms, right? That is what we have studied. Whatever rivals are reacting, it will affect our price or our output, everything, right? Now, any change in the price by one firm may result in a change in the price of the rival firms. As a result, the demand curve keeps shifting. Fine. If the price keeps on fluctuating, what will happen? Demand curve will keep on shifting, right? So, therefore, it is not definite but interdeterminate. It is not definite. One kind of demand curve you cannot assure in case of oligopoly. It keeps on shifting, and shifting means interdeterminate. Okay. Next is monopoly market. Now, what is monopoly market? It is a situation where there is a single buyer of the product who is not in competition with other buyers for the product. The entry into the market by other buyers is impossible. There is monopoly element in buying. Now, who is the monopolist over here? Buyer is the monopolist. There are many number of sellers but only one buyer. Okay. Government is a monopolist while purchasing of defense requirements. Now, who is the only seller for purchasing element for a defense? The only one who purchase defense item is government. Okay. So they are monopolist in case of defense, right? Buyer I am talking about. Fine. So that is monopoly. Am I clear? Now, next we will start up with the features of monopoly. Now, here the first feature is single buyer. We have already studied that the buyer is a single. Okay, there are many sellers. There is only one buyer of the commodity, services, or input. Okay. Now, next is large number of sellers. There are large number of sellers of a product or suppliers of a factor services. We have already studied that sellers are many, but the buyer is only one. Now, next is specialized product or services. Now, we have already studied that this is the case of specialized services like defense product. What is it? It is a specialized product, right? The supplier of the product or services are supplying a specialized product to the monopolist, which cannot be used by any other firm producing similar products. Now, for example, radiators supplied to Maruti Udyog cannot be used by any other manufacturers. Okay, or you can take example of defense also. Fine. Now, defense ka product any other people can use it? No, not possible. So that is why it is what? Specialized product or services. Next is lack of mobility. Now, what do you mean by lack of mobility? If workers are mobile so that they can move to places or industries where wages are higher than the monopoly, will break down because he will no longer be the sole buyer of labor services. Okay, that means they are not mobile, they are not movable. Okay, so if workers are mobile, so they can move to place, that is they can go for one industry to another industry. For what? For higher wages, right? Then the monopoly will break down. Fine. If somebody will come to know how to produce a defense ka product, okay, ordnance factory, then working in, they know how to prepare a bomb. What they will do? They will go and to somewhere else and they will start producing that. Fine. So what will happen? This will break down. Monopoly will break down, right? So because he will no longer be the sole buyer of labor services. Fine. So that is what? Lack of mobility. They don't have mobility. They cannot move. Next is price maker. Now, a monopolist is able to influence the price at which he buys. Now, who is the monopolist over here? Buyer is the monopolist. So, who will be influencing the price? Buyer. Okay. So, who is the price maker? Buyer is the price maker. Okay. Whoever is buying, they will decide the price, on what price they want a product, okay, or input. The supplier must either accept the price or stop supplying to the monopolist. So only choice he has, either what he will do, he will sell whatever the buyer is saying on that same price, or what he will do, he will stop his supply. He don't have any other choice. Now we will check out nature of demand curve under different market forms. Fine. Now nature of demand curve means how demand curve is reacting in different market which we have studied. Now under perfect competition, it is horizontal straight line parallel to x-axis, perfectly elastic. Can you see the graph over here? It is a horizontal straight line parallel to x-axis. Okay, this happens under perfect competition. Okay, now under monopoly, demand curve would be downward sloping but less elastic in nature. Less elastic in nature means price will rise more, demand will react less. Okay, so that is what it says, but less elastic in nature because the product does not have close substitute, but consumer will buy more only at reduced price. Okay, so it will be downward sloping only, but price will fluctuate more compared to demand. Okay, now under monopolistic competition, demand curve is downward sloping again but more elastic. Do remember, monopoly less elastic, monopolistic more elastic. Okay, so more elastic in nature because of the presence of large number of substitutes. Okay, next is under oligopoly market, demand curve cannot be determined or kinged shaped. Why? Because it keeps on fluctuating. That is what we have studied, right? Is drawn as propounded by Professor Paul Swiggy. See, this diagram was given by Professor Paul Swiggy. See what he has done. He has made the king shape. That is first one curve, then it has been tilted down. Okay, so that is what it is not decided. It can move as per the rival's reaction. Now under monopoly market, demand curve is downward sloping because buyer would buy more at less price. Why? In case of monopoly, there is only single buyer. So what buyer will do? Buyer will prefer to buy more only at the reduced price. Why? Because he has power to influence the price in the market. Am I clear? Now the same thing you can check out in the combined diagram here shown. Okay, see, perfectly elastic, that is horizontal line showing perfectly elastic, that is what? Perfect competition. Fine. If it is more elastic, downward sloping, again it is less elastic, downward sloping, but then it is more slanting, right? So there are different markets. It has been mentioned. A, that is the case of perfectly elastic, perfect competition. B, more elastic, monopolistic. C, less elastic, monopoly. Okay, now let's give a glance on comparison. Okay, what are the basis of comparison for perfect competition, monopolistic, oligopoly, monopoly, monopoly? Make a chart of this so that you can understand the things better. That will be very easy to remember. Why? Because this is not only differentiation but this is your features too. Okay, so you will remember it well for your exams. Now first is number of sellers. In case of perfect competition, what we have studied? Large number of sellers. Okay, now in case of monopolistic, fairly large. Now oligopoly, only few sellers are there. Monopoly, single seller. Okay, monopoly, large sellers. Now number of buyers. In case of perfect competition, large buyers. Okay, monopolistic, same, large buyer. Oligopoly, same, large buyers. Okay, monopoly, large buyers. In case of only monopoly, there is only one buyer. Okay, now nature of product. in case of perfect competition, it is homogeneous. In case of monopolistic, it is differentiated. In case of oligopoly, it is differentiated or homogeneous. Any? Okay. Now monopoly, again homogeneous. Monopoly, again homogeneous. Fine. Now next is nature of knowledge, that is market knowledge. In case of perfect competition, there is perfect knowledge. Why? Because all the sellers are there to check out everyone. Now monopolistic, knowledge free. Okay. Then oligopoly, knowledge closed, that is less knowledge. Okay. Again monopoly, that is knowledge closed, that means again it's not, everyone will not have market knowledge. Fine. Same way monopoly, knowledge closed. Okay. Next is nature of entry and exit. In case of perfect competition, we have studied it is free entry and exit. Same way monopolistic, free entry and exit. Oligopoly, entry is closed. Same way monopoly, entry is closed. Monopoly, entry is closed. For whom? For buyers and sellers both. Why? Because sellers are restricted to sell the buyer who is present in the market, and moreover next buyer cannot enter. Fine. So entry is closed. Next is market power. In case of perfect competition, no power. Monopolistic, slight power. Now oligopoly, again slight power. Monopoly, large power, right? Because the producer have full power. Now here monopoly, large power, but then who has the large power? Buyer has the large power. Okay. Next is nature of influence on price. Now first, price taker, that is perfect competition, price taker. Monopolistic, price maker. Oligopoly, price maker. Monopoly, price maker. Monopoly, price maker. But who are the price maker in case of monopoly? Buyers are the price maker. Do remember that. Okay. Price maker, you have to justify who are the price makers. It's not blindly you can tell who are the price makers. Okay. So in case of monopoly, price maker is there, but then buyers are the price maker. Now next is selling cost. Now in case of perfect competition, does not exist. There is no selling cost. We have already studied, we ignore selling cost. This is what our assumptions were. Then next is monopolistic, then selling cost do exist. Same way oligopoly, selling cost do exist. In case of monopoly, again does not exist. Fine. Monopoly does not exist. Fine. Now slope of demand curve. What we have studied, in case of perfect competition, it is perfectly elastic. Now in case of monopolistic, what we have studied, it is more elastic. So what they say, negatively sloped but less elastic. Okay. Now in case of oligopoly, what we have studied, it is king shaped, right? That is what we have studied. It's not decided. Same way in case of monopoly, it is again negatively sloped. When I say negatively sloped, means what? Means it is downward sloping. That means price and quantity demanded has an inverse relationship. Okay, don't get confused. Negatively sloped, that means there should be some minus sign. No, but less elastic. Okay. Then next is negatively sloped. Monopoly, what we have studied, it is downward sloping only, so negatively sloped. Next is relationship between AR and MR. Here first one, AR is equals to MR. In case of perfectly elastic, do remember AR, average revenue and marginal revenue, will be equal. Now in second case, AR will be greater than MR. Then in third case, again AR will be greater than MR. Fourth, again AR will be greater than MR. Then next is AR will be greater than MR. Okay. Now nature of profits in long run. Now here first is normal. Second, again normal. Why? Large number of buyers and sellers, so we can have only normal profit. Now in case of oligopoly, as we have few sellers, then we can have supernormal profit. Next is monopoly, we know in case of monopoly only one seller is there, again we have supernormal profit. Here in case of monopoly also we have supernormal profit. Why? Because the product which they are selling is specialized product, right? So that is why they have supernormal profit only. Okay, now this end up the complete chapter. Go through the chapter perfectly. Okay, hope the things are clear.